Duryodhana remained angry at the Pandavas and wanted to drive them from the kingdom. He challenged Yudhishthira to a game of dice, in which Yudhishthira lost everything including his brothers, Draupadi and himself. The Kauravas brought Draupadi to the arena to strip off her sari and humiliate her. But she prayed to Krishna and he mystically supplied an unending length of cloth. King Dhritarashtra came on the scene and gave everything back to the Pandavas and sent them home. Soon after that, despite warnings and protests from all sides, Duryodhana convinced Yudhishthira to play dice again, and Yudhishthira lost again. Thus, to satisfy the terms of the wager, Kunti, the Pandavas and Draupadi went to the forest for 12 years, and spent an additional year incognito. The Pandavas migrated as far north as Badrikashram in the Himalayas for some years, then back to neighboring regions. Toward the end of their exile, the fighting between the Pandavas and Kauravas heated up again. Duryodhana and his men occasionally visited the Pandavas in the forest to pick fights. Another mortal enemy, Jayadratha, kidnapped Draupadi, but the Pandavas rescued her. After satisfying the conditions of the dice game by living in exile, the Pandavas returned to Hastinapura to reclaim their kingdom, but Duryodhana refused to give them even a pinpoint of land. The situation between the Kauravas and Pandavas grew extremely tense. Krishna tried to make peace between the parties, but a war was destined to take place on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Krishna became Arjuna's chariot driver and spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna when the armies drew up to begin fighting. After 18 days, the war was over. All the great heroes of the Purva dynasty, along with millions of soldiers, lay dead on the battlefield. Only the Pandavas and a small handful of others remained. Aswathama, one of the remaining warriors, killed Draupadi's children in their sleep, hoping to end the royal lineage. Even though Prince Duryodhana wanted to find some last revenge, he was appalled by this atrocity and died of grief. The Pandavas arrested Aswathama and brought him before Draupadi, but out of compassion she pleaded for his life. The shameless Aswathama made one more attempt to kill the remaining heir, an unborn grandson in the womb of Uttara, Arjuna's wife. He hurled a Brahmastra, nuclear weapon at Uttara, and when she saw the missile coming toward her, she ran to Krishna for protection. Krishna, who was preparing to leave for his own kingdom, defeated the missile with his Sudarshan Chakra. The child Pariksit grew up to inherit the kingdom. When Gandhari came to Kurukshetra and saw the corpses of her sons scattered on the battlefield, she blamed Krishna for everything. She cursed him that in 36 years he would also lose everything and die, so that the women in his family would cry, just as she was crying. Then King Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti and their gurus Vijura and Sanjay left for the forest.